Yo, what is up, Raidernation, and welcome back to another pregame preview between our 2-6 Las Vegas Raiders as they head over to Mile High to face the 7-2 Denver Broncos. And the great thing about Thursday Night Football is the fact that we get to forget what happened on Sunday, because that's all in the past, and my heart is already broken. But when it comes to these AFC West rivalry games, you never know what could happen. I mean, the Raiders could possibly win this game.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know everybody and their mama is expecting the Donkeys to go and just whoop the Raiders, but nah. I think everybody's in for a rude awakening. I know that the Raiders don't have Jacoby Myers anymore, but that means somebody's gonna step up. Could it be Trey Tucker? Could it be Dante Thornton? Could it be Jack Best? Heck, even Tyler Lockett. I don't know. I just know that the Raiders are gonna be playing on prime time in front of the millions and millions of fans watching at home, and I'm just hoping for a W. But will the Raiders actually get it? Well, we'll have to find out
on the next Dragon Ball Z.
But if this is the very first time you guys are coming across the channel and you love Raiders content just like this, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification icon button. Now y'all know the deal. We can't start no pregame preview without giving you guys some Nation news that you can use. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, there hasn't been that much Raider news outside of Jacoby Myers being traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and if you've been living under a rock, surprise. In exchange, the Raiders got a 2026 4th and 6th round pick, which I said before I think was a solid trade for the Raiders. I would have loved a 3rd round pick, but to get 2 picks for Jacoby Myers in this upcoming draft is solid. And we already knew that Jacoby Myers was already on his way out, so at least the Raiders got something in return. Now, with a lot of speculations on all the other players that could have been traded and other teams really calling in to acquire some of the players that the Raiders have on this roster, there was no other trades made by the deadline, meaning that, hey, we kept Max Crosby, which is a huge deal for me. Now, my biggest question is, with Jacoby Myers being traded away and Tyler Lockett still on the roster right now, will Tyler Lockett change his number to 16? Because, I mean, it's available now. I don't know. It was just something that came to mind. In some other news, an interesting clip that I seen that really had me intrigued was Chip Kelly talking about the criticism that he's been getting for Ashton Gentry's usage. This is what he had to say.
I think he leads the league in rookie rushing, doesn't he? And carry, so... And I think everything we do game plan wise is about winning that game. So it's not about how many gets how many touches. Maybe some fantasy people are a little disturbed, but we're not coaching for fantasy people, so we're just trying to win games. So I mean, he's our number 1 back, and when we're running the ball, he's running the football. So, and I think you saw him a little bit in the past game the other day, and he's starting to evolve in that, and trying to get him more involved in that way. So. He's continuing to grow. He's doing a heck of a job.
Now, I know that there's a lot of Raider fans out there mad about Chip Kelly, don't like Chip Kelly. I don't know why. I mean, everything that he said is factual. He's not wrong. We know as a fan base, at the end of the day, it's all about winning. And there's different situations which bodes whether we have to run the ball or throw the ball. You can't just expect the Raiders to continue to feed Ashton Gentry when, 1, he's not getting a lot of yardage, and 2, if the Raiders are down, why would we continue to run the ball? We have to throw the ball, which Ashton Gentry has been more utilized in the passing game in these past couple of weeks. The game plan is always about winning, not about the stats. If anything, the offensive line and the run blocking has let down Ashton Gentry so far this season, not the play calling. And if you look at the stats, Ashton Gentry actually has more carries than most of the premier running backs in the NFL. More than Jahmyr Gibbs, more than Breece Hall, more than Bijan Robinson, heck, even more than Devon Achane. But those guys are still contributing when it comes to yardage. So let's cut Chip Kelly some slack. I know he ain't perfect, but giving Ashton Gentry more carries is not going to always amount to wins. Unless he's a hot hand, then I totally understand. I will say that at least in this past game, I understand, wanting to control the clock and keeping the ball out of the Jacksonville Jaguars' hands and just running out the clock, especially at the end of the game. But it is what it is. All we can do now is just hope for better in this next game. All right, Raider Nation, a quick timeout right now. Let me just be real with you guys for a second. With everything I got going on during the season, from shooting content to being at every single home game to spending time with my family and also trying to stay healthy, cooking every day just isn't realistic. That's why I got to give a huge shout out to Factor, because they take the stress off my plate. literally. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really cook that much to begin with. So eating clean is now easy thanks to Factor. Factor delivers chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals straight to your door, ready to eat within 2 minutes. You can pick from a bunch of different options every week, from keto to high protein or even breakfast. They've also got smoothies and juices that come in clutch on busy days. And the best part is that the food actually tastes real good, full of flavor with no compromises. My go-to meals right now is the miso chicken and the chicken taktuka. Straight fire. So while I'm grinding all week, editing, shooting content, or even on the move, I can still eat clean and keep my energy up without spending so much time in the kitchen. And with the holidays coming right up, this is the perfect gift, especially for anyone who's always on the go, like me. So head over to Factor75 or click the link down in the description below and use my promo code SamoanFB50 to get 50% off of your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for an entire year. That being said, big thank you to Factor for sponsoring today's video. Now, I got 5 different keys for the Raiders to come out with that victory at the end of Thursday night. Key number 1 is making Bo Nix uncomfortable. Now, we know Bo Nix, it has shown flashes of being a solid quarterback, of being a real good quarterback, but we've also seen the other side of that. When you put pressure on Bo Nix, he's still gonna make mistakes, and that's something that this Raiders defense has got to do, is apply pressure to Bo Nix early and often. We need to force him to make those mistakes and get off the field early. And the funny thing about Bo Nix and the Broncos offense is the fact that, yeah, you can do good against them for 3 quarters, but when it comes to that 4th quarter, somehow, some way, he makes plays to help the Broncos win. And that's what they've been doing for the past 6 games, and we got to stop that. Not just in the first half, but also in the second half. And I'm looking at the defensive line. I'm looking at Max Crosby. I'm looking at Adam Butler, Tyree Wilson, Malcolm Kuntz. Where have you been to put that pressure on Bo Nix? Key number 2 is feed Brock Bowers. Now, I can confidently say that Brock Bowers is officially back. 100%, this dude went out there and showed the league why he was considered the #1 tight end in the whole NFL. We haven't seen Brock Bowers this dominant since week 1 against the Patriots, and we've seen him just this past week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, having 12 receptions for 127 yards and 3 touchdowns. God damn. Now I know that we traded away Jacoby Myers, but I think a lot of people tend to forget that Brock Bowers is literally our wide receiver 1 and Michael Mayer is our tight end. You know, that's how I look at it. And you've seen how comfortable Geno Smith was having a weapon like Brock Bowers out there just to throw to. I said it before, and I'm gonna continue to say it. When in doubt, throw it to Brock Bowers. I don't care what the Broncos defense gives us. As long as Brock Bowers is out there and he's open, you feed this dude. Key number 3 is getting off the field on 3rd downs. Now, this defense has been pretty solid for the most part this season, but in this last game, we've seen that they let up a lot of big drives, a lot of big 3rd downs, and they've been inconsistent throughout the season. In a game like this, against a Broncos team that could definitely control the clock, this defense has got to get off the field as much as possible and give our offense just as much opportunities to go down the field and score more points. We cannot let the Broncos sustain any long drives, and that all comes down to the defense and being disciplined in every single drive. Key number 4 is protect the football. Now, we know Geno Smith has been prone. I mean, he leads the league. He's tied and leading the league in interceptions with Tua Tagovailoa. So we know that Geno Smith cannot help but throw interceptions. But we have got to protect the ball, especially against a defense who feeds off of getting turnovers, who feeds off of getting to the quarterback, who feeds off of making the most of their opportunities. So Geno Smith in this past game, throwing 4 touchdowns, is the same Geno Smith that we need in this game. I know he's not going to be perfect, but if we limit those turnovers, if we protect the football at all costs, no fumbles, no turnovers, don't give the Broncos defense any type of momentum in this game to keep the Broncos close, then we'll be okay. When you protect the football, you keep the game winnable. And that's all we need, is to keep it winnable at the end of the day. And you never know, the Raiders might shock the world. I mean, I say that every weekend. They haven't shocked anybody but the Raidernation. But that said, protect the football. And key number 5 is finish strong. We've seen the Raiders now in 2 different games not being able to finish strong, against the Chicago Bears and against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, we had a solid showing throughout the first 3 quarters of the game, but let up in the 4th quarter. And against a team, like I said before, in the Denver Broncos, who seems to turn it up offensively in the 4th quarter, we cannot let the Broncos come back and beat us if we actually have a lead. Because I'm pretty sure that if the Raiders keep this game too close and the Broncos have the ball to win the game, it's not going to be a good sign for the Raiders, and I could see the Raiders walking away with the L. Now, I know that I just want to see a competitive game. That's all we want at the end of the day. But even more than that, I want to see the Raiders win, and that means finishing in the 4th quarter. Now, moving on, I want to look at some players to keep an eye on in this game. Number 1 being Trey Tucker. Now, with Jacoby Myers being traded away, Trey Tucker is now considered the wide receiver 1. Now, I know I said Brock Bowers was the wide receiver 1, but if we're looking at position, he's the number 1 wide receiver on the roster right now. And this opens up a lot of opportunities for a lot of other receivers and the young wide receivers. Trey Tucker so far this season has had 32 receptions, 427 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So outside of Brock Bowers, it's going to be interesting to see if Trey Tucker can step up. If not Trey Tucker, then who? You know, like I said, we're going to see Dante Thornton out there. We're going to see Jack Besh out there. We're going to see Tyler Lockett. Who can be that primary wide receiver against the Broncos? The next player to watch in this game is none other than our quarterback, Geno Smith. Now, he's coming off of his best game, one of his best games so far this season against the Jacksonville Jaguars, going 29 for 39, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. And most of that is in due part with having Brock Bowers back on the roster 100%. Are we going to see that same Geno Smith in this game? Or are we going to see the Geno Smith that continues to struggle throughout the season? For me, I think if we build off that momentum that we just had, we should see at least a solid showing from Geno Smith. And he's going to be tested against a really, really good Broncos defense. So it's not going to be easy, but I'm hoping for the best. And depending on how well Geno Smith plays in this game is going to dictate how well the offense will be and if the Raiders are going to keep this game competitive. Now, the last player to watch is really not just one player, it's players. I'm looking at the offensive line. Now, the offensive line hasn't been the worst, but they haven't been the best as well. And when you're facing a Broncos defense like we are in this game, it's going to be a big matchup. The Broncos defense is number 1 in pass rush. Heck, they're the best in the NFL. So the Raiders have got to win in the trenches if we want any chances of winning in this game. We've got to protect Geno Smith at all costs. We don't want Geno Smith to make any mistakes out there, let alone not getting sacked out there, which I'm pretty sure he's going to get sacked a couple of times. But we don't want to see any of those turnovers, like I said before. On top of that, the run blocking has got to be much better. We got to open up more holes for Ashton Jeanty to help carry this offense as well. Because I feel like if the Raiders can control the clock and have positive plays on offense, then we might have a chance at winning this game and possibly shocking the world. Now, I want to take a quick moment and give a huge shout out to MyBookie. Whether you're betting on the Raiders to bounce back in this game against the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football, chasing a big parlay, or even testing your football knowledge, MyBookie makes it easy for you. They've got everything all in one spot, from the NFL to the NBA, college football, live lines, and so much more. Right now, the Raiders are the underdogs going into this matchup against the Denver Broncos, and rightfully so. But you know me, I still have a good feeling that the Raiders can pull this win off, because you just never know with these AFC West rivalry matchups. Whether you got the best record or the worst record, these games always are competitive. So if you're looking to get in on the action and you're new to MyBookie, then make sure to use my promo code Samoan, and any bet that you place up to $500 is fully covered when you opt in for your bet back bonus token. So don't wait, head to MyBookie today. Raider Nation, how do you guys feel about this game? Do you guys believe that the Raiders can pull this one off, or do you see this as another loss? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. That being said, I will be going live for the Raiders Broncos game tomorrow throughout the game. So come through to the live stream if you guys just want to hang out and enjoy the game. It's going to be a fun one, and we'll see what happens. Until the next one, this is your boy Samoan Raider, and your boy is Yow.